transformation as a tool for human and eventual society elevation. She's passionate about people development and strongly believes that people development is the bedrock for sustainable societal development. She currently serves as a global youth ambassador at Word, a global children charity committed to ending the global education crisis and unleashing the potential of the next generation. As a Technovation 2020 mentor, she demonstrates a commitment to empowering the young generation through fostering innovation, business development, and tech skill acquisition in under 18%. For the community and global development. In 2021, Mercypraise founded Project Headway, a non-profit guide guiding individuals under 35 towards self-actualization and producing positive impact in their society by fostering problem-solving skills, providing platform to grow, and providing scholarship. The motto of this organization is sustainable development through people development. The impact of this initiative has been significant, reaching and influencing hundreds of young people and students across Nigeria and still counting. Mercy Praise seeks to affect mindsets in individuals and community, recalibrating them to be well positioned for transformation, and also providing the necessary tools to aid the actualization of their visions and goals. She envisioned creating a positive impact through effective leadership, policy research and analysis, mentorship initiative, campaign and outreach, strategies, partnership, and collaboration. Above all, she is a believer in Jesus Christ and hold excellence, empathy, work, transparency, and honesty as her core value. She strongly believes that we are first humans before we are what we have and do, and nothing makes one human better than the other. Every human is priceless. So I want to see our
Call. YTOP is really an amazing person. YTOP is actually one of the persons you should have in your corner. YTOP is one person that would keep pushing you beyond what you think is your capacity. He will always want you to expand and expand. And he has really been pivotal in my journey, and I'm grateful. Thank you, sir. Thank you also, John. Thank you for that beautiful speech that you gave. I learned a lot from what you have said so far. Thank you. So I have about 20 minutes. So we'll try to maximize time in the shortest possible time. See my English, maximize time in the shortest possible time. Okay. Pardon my English. So this is 8:15. So I guess I'll be up till, is it 8:35 now? Um, okay. Now, the topic before us today is from local action to global impact. And please let me just say this, anytime you can't hear me, just type in the comment section 404. You know, this web page error 404 not found here. So once you type 404 in the comment section, I would figure that I'm not audible. Thank you very much. All right. So moving on. Now, the topic before us today is from local action to global impact. And then there's a sub theme below it that we need to pay attention to. And it says how young people can leverage technology and partnership to create sustainable change. Now, I'll start off with this statement. In the year 2023, there was this popular Yoruba slogan that a particular comedian started popularizing on social media. The name of that comedian or skit maker is Lai Wasabi. Some of you would have had the slogan, and that particular slogan was info is what we used to fly. So it means that you need info to fo. Info la info. You need info to fo. You need information to fly. So that was in 2023. Now, sincerely speaking, data is currently the most powerful and the most influential asset globally. I kid you not. This is something you can always fact check online. In fact, a lot of countries will spend billions and billions of dollars for data. In fact, think about it. Why are we being monitored? You would have seen a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of things online about we being monitored through our interactions on the internet, through our daily day-to-day conversations and interactions on our devices. We are being monitored because data of our activities are being stored up, because governments, industries, nations, they understand that data is power. Data is the new oil. Data is powerful. Data is treasure. Data is updates, and data is info that you will use to fool. So please, Ejo, let me just say, so with this info, tafefifo, emafo. All right, that's on a lighter note, but on a very serious note, info is very important. Update is what people get. The difference between Mr. A and Mr. B is the update Mr. B got that made Mr. B to go to greater places than where Mr. A was. All right, so that said, the question posed to us from the topic today is let me start by this. The question posed is not, are there tech tools to use, or do we know these tools? No, that's not the question. The question before us today is, how do we leverage technology to experience global impact? Mind you, technology is one of the important words, and then leverage is another cogent word in that topic. Now, what does leverage itself mean? I checked the Cambridge Dictionary, and what leverage is something that you already have and you use it in order to achieve something better. So it is something that you already have and then you use it to achieve something better. Leverage is not something far-fetched from you. It is something around you. However, you maximize it to be able to achieve something better or to expand your results and your power. Okay, so if you're following me, just let me see an emoji. If you're still following on the call, thank you, Olawumi, thank you, Rukebe, thank you, Feoluwa, thank you, Faith, thank you, Yano, thank you, Folake. Okay, thank you, everybody, thank you, you're following, thank you very much. Now, I'm trying to say a lot of things in the shortest possible time. I'm so sorry if I'm speaking so fast. Please pardon me. Um, There was also a saying that I fell in love with, and it was said by Tunde Onokoya. He said, "Great things can happen from small places." I don't know if he's the one that founded that statement, but I got to know of the statement through him. He said, "Great things can happen from small places." It means you could do great things in your locality, and its ripple effect will go all over the world. Now, let me share my story. You see, some years back, a senior colleague in the department I graduated from, he organized a 3-day LinkedIn optimization masterclass. I was in 200 level back then. So it was a very intensive class. And so with the information I got from the class, with the info that I got, I wanted to full. And so I wanted to fly. So I also made a bold step of faith in part 2 to open a LinkedIn account. However, I was very clueless about a lot of things, because you would agree with me that a 200 level student, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted the world to know me for. I didn't know what I was going to do after school. I didn't know what I wanted to put out there about myself. It wasn't clear to me. So opening a LinkedIn account and you hear people say LinkedIn optimization, what exactly am I supposed to optimize? So as at then, I was very clueless, but I understood that to an extent, there's something called packaging and branding. So then I thought to myself, okay, I'm a student. What can I use on my profile? I don't really have anything I'm selling, or I want to package myself as in the corporate world. So I said, okay. Instead of saying I'm an occupational therapy student, because I was studying occupational therapy at that time, I said, okay, let me write student occupational therapists. It's a form of packaging. Instead of saying occupational therapy students, you might think it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing. Student occupational therapists. Then I thought to myself again, what else can I add to my profile? Because most profiles I was seeing on LinkedIn, they were, there's not only one thing they write. They write human capital, this. So I cannot just write student. I must brand myself. So I thought about it. I asked myself, what do you love? I was asking myself, what do you love? And then I asked myself, what do you hate? like HATE. What do you hate to see? What do you hate to experience? And then the third thing, what do you find yourself doing that time will go and you will not even be you wouldn't even be aware that time has gone. It just flows naturally like water, the way water flows. And this is just by the way, those three things are very pivotal in you discovering your purpose. What do you love? What do you hate to see? When you see it, you are angry. You feel like, oh, this thing can be better than this. That's two. Number three, what just flows naturally? So I asked myself those questions and I was very honest with myself. I said, wait, oh, whenever I see a child walking on the road, hawking, when he should be in school, I get very upset. I get very uneasy. I get very angry. And so I said, okay, I think I have a passion to see children educated. Okay, now let me add it to my profile. SDG4 advocates. That's a way of branding it. I didn't know what I was going to do about it. So that's why I just wrote advocate, enthusiast advocate, just put it there. And you know one thing about this thing is you don't have to have all the answers. Just start with the little clues you have. Then as you keep advancing, progressing, you keep upgrading your brand. Guess what? Some of the big, in fact, virtually 99% of all the brands you see around you, they kept upgrading. The way Apple started is not the way it is now. They started upgrading. The way Microsoft started is not. In fact, a lot of companies they change their logos, they change their or they change a whole lot of things. So it's okay. You upgrade, you would evolve as time goes on. Yes. So moving on from there. So I started branded like that. I did that and I did that. And like I said at the beginning, info la info. So now I'm on LinkedIn. I started sending out connections. I was not even building organically. I was just start sending. So let me just say, let me build a page. Let me to have followers. As a young student at that time. So moving on from there, one particular day on LinkedIn, I saw on someone's profile. I saw on this particular lady's profile. Funniest part, I can't even remember her name. It was just what I saw on her profile that got my attention. Remember, info, laugh info. So I saw that particular thing on her profile and it read United Nations Millennium Fellow, the first in Unilag. I say, what is United Nations Millennium Fellow? First in Unilag. Have we had something like that in OAU? So guess what? No time to waste. I quickly Googled it. Bam, I went on Google. Then I discovered that it's an academic fellowship by the United Nations and we could register to be a part of it. See info. Me, I want to follow. Bam, I registered. If I had no clue on, essay writing to stand global standard, I just tried. I didn't know if I was going to be picked, but I tried either ways. And guess what? I was picked. And then I became a United Nations Millennium Fellow. And that was where my NGO, Project Headway, was birthed. It was through the United Nations Millennium Fellowship, the projects we did. Then Project Headway started from there. Now I'll see another one. There was also another time I have a friend that is very, very serious with LinkedIn. In fact, he posts consistently 3 times a week. He doesn't miss it. He's very consistent. And I kid you not far from that period when I got to know of him on LinkedIn and everything, he got a job with the presidency. And he did not apply for that job. That's one beautiful thing. He didn't apply for the job. So how did he get it? What happened was that his profile was just gone through the persons looking for personnel with to work with the presidency, senior special advisor to the president, blah blah blah, executive assistant, something. The persons in charge, the recruiters, they just went on LinkedIn. They were doing a spree, checking people's profile. So they saw his profile was optimized. They saw what he was doing, the things he wrote on his page. And then they invited him for an interview at Abuja. And bam, they were impressed and he got the job just like that. So I was asking him, well, show us the way because his updates. Updates is what people used to get global. Some people are working and are working hard, and some people are doing little, but their little gain so much attention, and then they can now easily spread their wings to other countries. And some people are still there working, doing a lot of work than even the person that is now global. So his info is the difference, updates. So he told me that, what, Mercy Praise, storytelling is key. And he said something, you will connect with your global audience through storytelling. So, and it made me understand that if you do one outreach, if you do one program, if you do one good activity, if you attend one conference, you can create multiple posts from just that one act, one event, one program, and keep creating multiple. So you can't say, I don't have anything to post. One simple thing that happened in your class, post about it. bring out a lesson from it. You don't even know that somebody is watching you online. And that's it for him. He just maximized storytelling. Somebody like Tunde Onokoye has maximized storytelling. You will see that from his kinds of contents that he writes on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, you will see that there's a way he just connects with the audience with his emotions, says it in a story form. Because guess what? In today's world, people are not really keen on reading boring things. They want something interesting. People's attention span in this digital world is declining. So I got to learn all these things from that person. Then he shared me the profile of one very popular lady. She's global. A lot of persons here would know her. And then, so I was checking her profile. I was checking her LinkedIn profile. And then, yet again, I saw something on her profile, on her experience part, the experience section of LinkedIn. I saw ambassador at their world. I said, what is their world? Okay, info. No, let me find out. So I Googled it, their world. And I discovered that this their world is a UK-based global NGO. It's a big NGO. It does a lot of big projects, and it has branches all over the world, and it has ambassadors from different countries. Ambassadors. Then I was checking through their page, and also that we could apply. There's an opening for ambassadors. No problem. There's no harm in trying. We will never know how much we could do except we try. So I tried, applied, and guess what? I got a mail that I've been accepted and selected as the ambassador. Wow, beautiful. Info is truly how we used to fall. God is good. Okay. And before I graduated from OAU, I said to myself, I see you, Ifeoluwa, thank you. Before I graduated from OAU, I said to myself, I want to have a program for secondary school students. How do I do it? How do I do it? I was so clueless. I didn't know where to start. Then I met a lady on LinkedIn. I don't know if she's on this call. And then we started talking. And do you know that that program happened? It was a huge success. And the major, the core team members that I worked with for that program, I met them on LinkedIn. They're OAU students, but I met them as like-minded people via LinkedIn. And then another thing was that how did I make that conference go global? It was a small program, about how many students? Well, they were not up to 200, but for secondary school students. And what did I do to make it global? I didn't have money to start calling Arise TV. If I say I should post it on Instagram, I did not have enough followers to make it, except if you tell me that, oh, with consistency, one day some people will see it. But to get that instant results, it was leverage that will work, partnership. So I said to myself, I'm an ambassador at their world. So I sent them a mail that I want to host a conference, blah, 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 for secondary school students. And I made sure my aim aligned with their aim. And they were so excited. Guess what? They interviewed me and they published it. By the time they published it, before I knew it, I started getting DMs on Instagram, DMs on LinkedIn, people from different countries. Hello, I was surprised. And I asked myself, did I do anything that was magnificent in that sense? Did I do something that was so extraordinary? But the answer was no. All I did was to do something small in my local community, and I leveraged on technology, and it went far by God's grace. Can you see that now? So I can go on and on. Time will fail me to talk about many things, time constrains me. But however, let me just shift to talking about the dangers of not leveraging technology. Let's talk about that. There was a larger part of my life where I thought that it doesn't make sense for me to do something and post it online. Why will I want to help somebody? Why will I want to pay somebody's school fees and I would not be taking the person's picture or do a video of it and post it online? I felt I'll be embarrassing the person. I felt like my motives are not pure. Why will I do such? Because I'm a Christian and the Bible says when you do something in your right hand, your left hand does not need to know. So kini bubuye. So pardon me, kini bubuye means what's the meaning of all that? So I went on. That continued in my life. I was always struggling with should I post, should I not post, should I post, should I not post, should I post. So eventually there was this particular international conference I applied for. It's the largest, a lot of you know it, One Young World Summit. And I also applied for other things, but I want to mention this One Young World Summit specifically. So it's the largest gathering of, young persons making impact in their world, people that are startup founders for sustainable change all over the world. And then I saw that there's opportunity for scholarship. So there are some partner companies that are funding young persons to attend the summit. It was going to hold where? I think it was in Canada. So I applied. I looked on LinkedIn for for contacts of persons who have attended. I reached out to them. Oh, please, I'm applying. How did you do it? I wanted to go. There was a long essay I had to fill. I filled the essay. I reached out to a professional writer to help me write, edit my write. I spent days ensuring I did the best global standard so that when I submit that application, they will pick me because I knew it was competitive. You know what? After my submission and everything, hi, one fateful day. One fateful day, I just saw email. We are sorry. And they to come. In fact, there was, we are sorry to announce to you. I was so pained. I was so pained because I know I've done a lot. What's the issue? So I had to go in retrospect. It made me so down. When you spend days writing, I reached out to a professional writer, I reached out to people that have attended, I did a lot. And then I just got a mail. We're sorry to announce to you that, or we regret to inform, okay, it was we regret to inform you. And then I looked and I said, oh, what's going on? And I discovered that when we were applying, one of the things in the application was that I needed to submit proof and evidence of the impact I've done. And I didn't have so many. So there was not enough evidence to back up all the excellent, incredible English I was writing to them. And I said, whoa, so this is it. Whoa. And then I met some other persons online. They just keep getting opportunities. This girl is 20, this girl is 22. She would just do one small project. Next thing, there was one particular lady. She was next thing I saw was on CNN. What's going on here? And so I discovered that these people were consistent in showing up online. They were posting their works. Any small thing they do, it would be as if they've done 1 million things. It's not that they lied, but they gave credit and they expounded on what they have done such that the world will see it. Because guess what? Nobody will blow your trumpet for you like you will do for yourself. And that's just the truth. And for the sake of partnerships, for the sake of even getting people to work with you, because guess what? You can't do the job alone. Your posting will encourage somebody else to also start somewhere. Your posting will encourage somebody to join you and partner with you. Your posting will encourage people who have the money and resource but don't have the time to come and partner with you. Your posting would resurrect hope lives of somebody else. Your posting will also serve as evidence when you want to get bigger opportunities. So I just had to solve that problem in my mind and tell myself that the same God that said, okay, when you do something on your left hand, your right hand should not know, is the same one that said, let your light so shine. And I just have to be sure that my motives are right. I am doing it for the greater good. Fine, let me keep posting. Let me show up consistently. There is a reward for those who are consistent. If I want to break free from local action to global impact, if I want to upscale, I can't continue to just keep saying, oh, I don't want the world to know what I'm doing. Okay. I have exactly used 20 minutes. I don't want to outshoot myself. Okay, so let me just end with this due to time. Fortunately, unfortunately, let me just end with this due to time. So I'll close with this saying. I started with info laugh info at the beginning, Abi. Okay, so let me complete it. Info laugh info, but info tí ò bá gbé wa fò, òfò ni. So what that means is information is what we use to fly, but information that does not make us fly is useless in itself. So, in short, the summary of what I'm trying to say is information is important to make you move to your next level. But if you don't act on the information, it is useless for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was power packed within how many minutes? Oh